Merry Meets everyone, Earthfire here. Today I thought I would share with you how I make my home protection dirt. I needed to make a new batch because I was totally out, so I wanted to go ahead and share it with you. It's really simple. It only has a few ingredients and, of course, dirt from your property. So you want to go ahead and gather that. So I just, I take a shovel and I dig up just, somewhere that it's not really important on your property, that's not going to interfere with anything. And then I normally just keep a bucket full of it sitting around. And you're just going to need some property dirt. You're also going to need some charcoal. I used 2 of these that I ground up in my mortar and pestle. I went ahead and did that. You guys know how to do that, so I didn't need to show you that. You're also going to need some sea salt or salt of your choice. I normally use sea salt for workings like this. You're also going to need some sage. I would use ground sage if I were you, but you could use whatever you have on hand. You're also going to need some rosemary. And then you're going to need some sort of jar to put it in. So this is my property dirt that I've already dug up. It doesn't matter where it comes from on your property as long as it's, from your property. And I always make big batches, especially if we're going into the colder months, because I won't be able to get the property dirt once the snow falls. So like I said, I keep a bucket of it sitting around, and then I make them in big batches. So that's about the equivalent of the dirt that I got. You could use however much it is that you choose. If you choose to make this every month, then of course you're going to need a lot less ingredients each time, or a lot less of each ingredient each time. So basically I just kind of throw all this stuff together and enchant it as I'm doing it, and then I will sprinkle this around the perimeter of my property to create a boundary. Also, while I'm doing that, I will enchant the boundary to protect my home and my family. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to start adding stuff. So like I said, this is charcoal. You could use any charcoal you have. You could even use like the briquettes that you get from like Walmart or something for charcoal grills. I have used that in the past. Just keep that in mind that they do have lighter fluid on them, so I definitely wouldn't be doing those in very hot places, but any type of charcoal will work. I have it all over my hands. So I just went ahead and ground that up. I did equivalent of 2 of those full sticks, but like I said, I make a lot at once, and so I need a little bit more of ingredients. If you're going to be making this every single month, you could easily just take, 1 little charcoal disc, and that will be more than enough, or you could even use half of a charcoal disc. But go ahead and get that and grind it up as fine as you can get it. I never get it very fine because these ones are very, very hard. But, as fine as you can get it. And we're going to go ahead and enchant this for protection of our home and family and our property and all of that. So, so let's go ahead and enchant that. Okay, so I've enchanted that for the power of protection. However you enchant things is, it's kind of a personal thing, so you do it however you do it. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add some salt. And I never measure anything. I just go until I feel like it's enough. And mine is going to be way more than someone who's going to just be making it for a single use every month. I'm almost out. I'm going to have to buy some more. So we're going to enchant the salt for the power of protection of our property. Okay. So the next thing is going to be sage. And this is just powdered sage. You could use like regular sage that you've ground up in your mortar and pestle if you want. You could also use those in the, or grind them up in the coffee grinder, like I showed in my past videos of the powders that I was making. Ooh, didn't mean that much, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and enchant that. Also for, you know, the power of protection of our property. Okay. And then the last thing is rosemary. I find rosemary to be a very potent protection herb, so you don't need a whole lot of it because a little bit goes a long way. So once again, let's go ahead and enchant that. Okay, now all we're going to do is just mix this up. And once we get it mixed up, we're going to add it to the property dirt and enchant the whole thing again. And then, you know, I'll discuss a little bit more about what you can do with it. So we're just going to add this to the dirt, hopefully without making a humongous mess. Okay, so give it a good shake once you've got all your ingredients in it, or mix it up however you're going to be doing it. Since I have it in a jar, I just shake it up really well. And then we're going to enchant it one last time, and then you'll be able to use it. So go ahead and enchant it. Okay, so the things that you're going to, well, the main purpose of this property dirt is to create a boundary around your property. So all the way around the edges of your property, you would sprinkle this. I do it once a month. I usually try to do it at the beginning of the month. You could do it on the full moon, whenever it is that you feel is a good time to be doing it. But for me, I try to do it at least once a month. If I'm feeling that I need, you know, some extra protection, you know, especially when you have a household that does a lot of magic, you tend to draw in spirits and, you know, things like that, and this is going to help with that. So when you're enchanting, if you don't want spirits to be on your property or in your home, add that into your enchantment. Just, you know, stating that no spirits can cross the boundary unless they've been invited. So that'll, you know, allow you to still be able to work with your spirit guides and all of that, and not have, you know, just wandering spirits come through. So that's just, you know, a little thought if you want to add that to this protection, which I do, because, you know, our whole household does magic, and especially my youngest daughter, she's just getting into her magic, and she's drawing things in closer to her that, you know, weren't around before. So spirits are curious about her. They're coming, you know, closer and all of that. So this, I always add that into my protection boundaries to try and keep them, you know, at bay, unless they've been invited in. I also, you know, add protection from people, you know, because you, no matter where you go, you have crime. This helps with that. You can add aspects of being invisible to outside forces if you want. So, you know, from theft and, you know, robberies and stuff like that, you can add, you know, aspects of being invisible to those types of people. I kind of just add it all at once. So my enchantments are for people, unwanted energies, entities, spirits, you know, things like that are all added into this. So that way I have protection from all things that aren't, you know, aren't wanted. So like I said, just sprinkle this around the perimeter of your home. If you live in an apartment, you can definitely just do it in the front doors, you know, the front door and the back door if you have one, the windows, sort of like you would do with black salt or regular salt. You could use this for that. Also, if you have a large piece of property, you can just do it around your home. you know, the outside of your physical house. I always do it around our entire property because I use different areas of our property to do magical workings. So I always like to do that. And like I said, I do it once a month. You can do it however often you think that you need it. If you think you need it once a month, that's fine. If you think you need it, you know, more often than that, you can definitely do that. So yeah, I wanted to share this with you. And I got this little shaker type of thing from Dollar Tree, and that's what I use to distribute it out to the boundary line, because it's a lot easier than carrying this big thing around, and I can kind of just sprinkle it indiscreetly, and you know, my nosy neighbors don't notice that I'm really doing anything. It kind of just looks like I'm walking around the boundary of my property, because we have several nosy neighbors, and you know, I don't want them up in my business, so that's just, you know, a little thing. Got it at Dollar Tree. It was $1, no big deal. You could also use like a salt shaker type of deal, or a sugar dispenser, kind of like the ones you see at restaurants. Dollar Tree carries those once in a while. But just sprinkle it around the edges of your property, enchanting it again as you're doing it. You do need to do the enchantment as you're sprinkling it, for, you know, the intention, because, you know, you could make this and not use it for a month, and it may not remember what it's supposed to do. So, and that activates the boundary as you're doing it. So yeah, I wanted to go ahead and share it with you. I don't know if you can hear it, but it has really started to rain here. So I love the rain, and it's very nice. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and share it with you. I needed to make a new batch, and I hadn't done a video on it yet, so definitely thought I would go ahead and share it. So I will see you next time. Blessed be.